So when I say the word Buddha, what pops into your head? You probably think of one specific person, right? A historical figure. Well, that's kind of true, but it's really only part of the picture. The real answer to who was Buddha turns out it's way more interesting than you might think. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start with the most basic question of all. Is Buddha actually a name? You know, like Sarah or David?
And the answer, maybe surprisingly, is no. Buddha isn't a name, not at all. It's actually a title, and it comes from an old Sanskrit word that literally means a person who is awake.
All right, so if a Buddha is someone who's awake, that obviously leads to the next big question, right? Awake to what?
And the answer is, wow, it's huge. A Buddha is someone who is awake to the true nature of reality. Now, that's a simple little phrase, but man, unpacking what that actually means, that's the real journey.
So how do we even begin to wrap our heads around that, seeing the true nature of reality? Well, luckily, the teachings give us this really great way to think about it. It's a metaphor. And to understand what it means to be awake, we have to first talk about this fog that, well, most of us are living in. Yeah, check this out. The teaching basically says we all live in a fog of illusions. So what that really means is that the way we see the world every single day, it might not be the whole truth. It's like we're looking through a bit of a haze. So, what's causing this fog? Well, according to the teachings, it all comes down to three things. Three impurities, they call them. And they are hate, greed, and ignorance. These are supposedly the big three that really mess with how we see things.
And that brings us right back to the beginning, see? A Buddha is someone who's managed to clear all that fog away. They're free from the pull of hate, greed, and ignorance. And because of that, they can finally see reality for what it really is, with total clarity. They're awake precisely because they've stepped out of that fog. You know, this also brings up another word you've probably heard a million times, nirvana. A lot of people think it's like a Buddhist heaven, right? But that's not quite it. It's not a place you go to. It's a totally transformed state of being, a deep, lasting peace you enter into.
Okay, so let's recap. Buddha is a title. It's a state of being that, theoretically, anyone could reach, which leads to a really important question. When we talk about the Buddha with a capital T, who exactly is that?
And this is the absolute key to the whole thing. It's the difference between a Buddha and the Buddha. So a Buddha, that's the title, right? It could be anybody who wakes up to the true nature of reality. But the Buddha, that's talking about one guy, the historical figure who actually started it all.
So, that one historical person, the one we all know as the Buddha, he was born with a different name. His name was Siddhartha Gautama. And that's who he was before he reached enlightenment and got the title Buddha. So, to put this on a map, when and where was this guy? Well, we're going way back, about 2,500 years ago, and he lived in an area that's now northern India and Nepal. So we're not talking about a myth or a legend here. This was a real dude in a real place who went on this incredible spiritual quest.
And really, that's the most important thing to get. The Buddha, the person, Siddhartha Gautama, is the one who figured out and then taught everyone else the path to becoming a Buddha, the state of being. He didn't just get there himself. He basically drew a map so other people could make the journey too. And that kind of leaves us with one last big thought to chew on, something a little more personal. Because, look, it's one thing to get all this stuff in your head, but if a Buddha is someone who is truly awake, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What are we sleeping through?